Halloween really is the time for horror, and one of the great horror tropes is evil little children. And wow, have there been some evil and nasty little children in fairy tales and folk stories. The story that I have for you today is called How Some Children Played at Slaughtering. Oh yeah, this is going to be a nice one. There are actually two different versions of this story that were published in the original collection of Grimm's fairy tales in 1812. And the first one goes that once upon a time, there was a group of children who got together and were going to play Let's Pretend. And they assigned roles to each other. And the first one was going to be the butcher, and one was going to be the cook, and one was going to be the cook's assistant, and one was going to be the pig. And the little boy who was playing the butcher took a knife and cut the throat of the little boy who was playing the pig. Some Lord of the Flies action right there. And then the adults found out and understandably freaked out and dragged the little boy who had been the butcher to court, to trial. And the oldest and wisest among them finally came up with an idea on how to test this little boy and determine his guilt or his innocence. He took an apple in one hand and a gold coin in the other, and he offered them both to the little boy. The idea being that if the little boy chose the gold coin, it meant that he was grown up enough and worldly enough to understand things like greed and malice, and therefore knew what he was doing when he killed the little boy and would be tried as an adult. If he chose the apple, it meant that he was still naive enough to not have known what he was doing when he killed the little boy. And the little boy chose the apple without hesitation. And all the charges were dropped, and the little boy went home free. The end. The second version of the story is even darker, and it goes that once upon a time, there were two brothers, two little boys, who witnessed the butchering of a pig. And they went home, and they decided they wanted to play a game. Let's pretend. And the older brother was the butcher, and the little brother was the pig. And the older brother took a knife and killed his little brother. They did this in the yard. And their mother looked out the window just as the older brother was cutting his little brother's throat open and screamed like a banshee, ran out of the house, and in her madness and grief took the knife from the older brother and stabbed him through the heart. It so happened that when she looked out the window and saw what her two sons were doing, she happened to be giving her baby a bath. And she left her baby in the bath when she ran out, screaming. And when she came back inside, the baby had drowned. And she was so overcome by despair and grief and horror that she hanged herself. And then her husband came home later and found his entire family dead. And he went mad with grief and wasted away from sorrow. The end. Okay. Can we all just please agree here and now that these are not just children's stories? I mean, wow. Children cutting other children's throats. These are not just children's stories. These are folk tales. These are stories that you tell one another as you're walking down the road between villages, or you tell each other sitting around the campfire or the fireplace at night. These are stories. These are stories. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the stories or were at least mortified by them or intrigued by them. If you were and would like to hear more, go ahead and click that subscribe button below and subscribe to This Spoken World. Also hit that like button and share this video if you enjoyed it with 10 of your closest friends, or if you didn't enjoy it, 10 of your closest enemies. Other than that, I will be bringing you more stories very soon. Have a wonderful Halloween, and I will see you all next time.